Welcome back once again to another look at how to convert a Chaos Cultist. Following on from my previous videos where I've looked at Legion or God-specific cultists, this time we'll be tackling the pox-ridden followers of Nurgle. I'll be showing you the steps I took to build this miniature that you see before you, along with the components I used to make it. The basis of this conversion will be the House Cultists kit from Necromunda. This is absolutely perfect for cultists of any sort, as it contains ragged robes and dilapidated weapons that work extremely well for the downtrodden chaos masses. It also fits in line with the in-game options available for cultists, as Cultists come with autoguns, pistols and close combat weapons as standard. What's particularly helpful for your Death Guard cultists are the thin bandaged arms and boils found on some of the components, which all add to that Nurgle theme that we're trying to build. Additionally, at £26 RRP for 10 models, it won't break the bank if you're trying to field a good number of these guys. So let's begin by removing the components needed to build the torso, legs and a right weapon arm of a House Cultists member. This will serve as the basis for our Nurgle cultists. So our cultists need to have some sort of bubonic mutation, but we're not looking for the same degree of Nurgle's corruption as seen within the master ranks of the Poxwalkers. For the most part, we want these cultists to remain identifiable as human while still having some degree of disease-based gifts. A simple way to achieve this is by grabbing some components from the Plaguebearer's kit. No doubt, if you're an established follower of Nurgle, then you're likely to have a couple of these lying around already. The arms are, however, slightly larger than what would be appropriate for the size of body that we're using, but this isn't such a problem as it simply adds to that mutated appearance. However, to get the fit, we'll need to do a little trimming first. Begin by clipping off the shoulder of your Plaguebearer arm before creating a rounded joint with a file or a knife. We want this arm to be able to fit into the socket beneath the Cultists cultist shoulder cloth, so keep making small adjustments before trying out the fit and adjusting accordingly. Once you're happy that your arm will fit into the joint, you can then bring in your glue and fix the arm into place. Now, whilst I've only tackled the arm here, you could also make use of other Plaguebearer components such as Nurglings, Plague Swords, or even replace an entire leg of your cultist with those of the Plaguebearers. For the head, we need a couple of things. First, it should have some sort of gas mask to represent either protection from or a method to inhale the noxious fumes associated with the forces of death and decay. Additionally, it should fit into that cultist vibe. Fortunately, the Skitarii Rangers provide us with a perfect mix of these two criteria. However, before we can use the head, we need to do a little trimming. Begin by removing any external antenna, cables or other adornments in order to simplify the head. Then you will need to make some slight adjustments to the pipes around the base of the head in order to make sure that the head fits into the neck joint of the Cultist torso. Again, keep making small adjustments, and once you're happy that the head fits snugly into place, you can then bring in your glue. Other head choices that work well for this are zombie heads. Whilst the kit is a little dated now, the heads still look pretty good and would work well for Nurgle cultists. So our model is pretty much there now, but there are some smaller details that we can add to help add a little more character and detail to our cultists. So begin by grabbing yourself some of those rounded grenades. These can be easily found in lots of Space Marine kits, including the Mark IV set, along with a few Primaris and Scout kits too. However, instead of just using them as regular grenades, you want to first use a knife or a file to remove the pins sculpted to the tops. Try to smooth these out so the top has the same rounded end as the bottom does. Once this has been done, you should be left with a rounded cylinder with a center band. Glue this to the waist of your cultist and hey presto, you have yourself some plague vials. Simply paint the top half as metal and the bottom half with a greenish yellow to create the appearance of a glass and metal vial filled with some virulent substances. An example of which you can see as we take a look at the finished miniature. So here we have the fully painted and based Death Guard or Nurgle cultist, complete with a simple basing scheme. Here you can see the plague vials that we added in the last step with the glass effect painted on them. The intention of this video was to create a fairly simple and quick conversion that wouldn't need a whole heap of components or time, but that could create a recognisable Nurgle inspired cultist. By keeping things simple, it means that the result can be easily recreated en masse without the need for too many extra parts or steps. If you enjoyed this Chaos Cultist conversion, then be sure to check out my previous Emperor's Children and Iron Warrior guides, and let me know which Legion or God-specific cultists you'd like to see me try out in the future. If you're looking to recreate this conversion, then you'll probably want to buy yourself a Corridor Gang box and just get the individual heads, arms and grenades from Bits resellers. I personally recommend Bits box as they've helped us out numerous times on this channel. For your Corridor kit, be sure to check out Firestorm Games using my affiliates link, which can be found in the description below. Anything you buy after using that link will send a little bit of money my way, which I can put directly into producing more of these videos. And finally, let me say, as always, a huge thank you to the guys who continue to support me on Patreon. Your patronage really does help me with the cost of producing these videos, buying the kits, the components, everything I need for them. And if you'd like to lend me a hand too, I've included my Patreon page in the description below, where you can donate to me from as little as $1 a month. And finally, there is also a Discord server for Pete the Wargamer and anyone who enjoys watching the videos I produce, and you'll find that alongside all the other links in the description below. And so the only thing left to say is, thanks for watching, and goodbye.